Hi, so we're talking about dimensional analysis today, and we wanted to look at it in terms of playing a game of dominoes. Now I have two sets of dominoes here. So this first set of dominoes, you're going to notice, are all blank on the bottom. These are like our starting and ending points for a dimensional analysis problem. Now this set of dominoes, this is what we call our conversion factors. So conversion factors are just the dominoes that have two different sides to them, and they can be played this way or they can be played this way. Now I'm going to kind of show this and how this works with the game of dominoes. So I'm going to keep my conversion factors here, and I'm going to start with maybe I'm going to start a problem where I'm going to start with a 5 and I want to get to a 1. Okay, so this is where I want to start. Okay, that's the units that I'm starting with, and this is the units that I want to end with. So now I got to look at my dominoes here a little bit and see what I have. So I've got like these guys right here that both have 1s, and I've got these guys that have 5s. Now the problem is that neither of them, okay, can go directly from a 5 to a 1. But what I look at is I look at things that they might have in common. So I see that they have these in common. So these are the two dominoes that I'd like to play. Now the way we play a domino is pretty simple. If the 5 is up here, so if our unit is up here, then the unit has to go on the bottom. So it's almost like math in which they're going to cancel. So now we got ourselves over to this 3. So then we're going to take our next domino, we're going to play it right here. So now what happens is we canceled our 5s, we canceled our 3s, and we're now in the same unit over here. So again, it's about making sure that our units are the same. So we want to go to the next one here. Hold on. And I'm going to do a 4. Okay, take my conversion factors. I want to go from a 4 to a 3. Okay. So I'm going to play my dominoes so I can get from this unit of 4 to this unit of 3. So again, I'm back to my conversion factors here, and I'm looking over and I'm saying, okay, which ones do I have? 4s. Okay, I've got these with 4s, and I've got these with 3s, and I'm going to look to see what do I have that's common, and it looks like I've got the 1 in common. So I'm going to play 2 dominoes in this one, but I'm going to play this one this way, and I'm going to play this one this way, so that these will cancel unit-wise, these will cancel unit-wise, and I'll end up then with this. And so that's my equivalence, and that's how I kind of set the problem up. So it goes this way across, start, do our math, and then we equal this in the end. Okay? And let's try another one. Here I'm going to do another one where I'm going to start with a 1 and go to a 6. Okay? So I'm going to start here on this unit. I'm going to end on this unit. And so now I'm going to do look at my dominoes. Okay, these are my conversion factors again. I've got these ones with a 1. I've got this one with a 6, and these are in common. So it looks like I'm going to play them this way. Okay. Now sometimes there's going to be multiple routes that you can kind of get to it. So you might want to start to look at, it's about how do you understand how your conversion factors work. Okay, but that's a route that works. So we only had to play 2 dominoes in this one. Next one, let's just do this. We're going to go from a 6 to a 2, or from a 2 over to the 6. So I'm going to look at the 2s. Okay, I know I'm going to have to play this one because this is my only one that has a 6. And then I could go, let's see, we could go to the 3, all right, to the 5, and then we can go 5 to the 2. Oops, I got to make sure I play them the right way so that they cancel. So I started with the unit of 2, I canceled. Unit of 5, canceled. Unit of 3, canceled. Left with the unit of 6, and so that's how I'm doing my equivalences. Okay, and let's do one more example before we show how this is going to work for our actual problems. So I'm going to go with, let's get these out here. Let's go 5 and a 4. Okay, so I'm going to go from this unit of 5 to this unit of 4. All right, so these are my ones with 4s, and oh, here's my one with 5, and I see that I've got my common. Okay, so I'm going to set it up, do this, and so then I end up with my equivalences. So 5's cancel, 2's cancel, a unit of 4 left. All right. So now we're going to switch to different dominoes. So these are the same type of dominoes that we had before, except now these are called our conversion factors, and these are all conversion factors for length. So you can see that on one top side we have one type of unit, on the bottom side we have a different unit. So like this one here is going kilometers to miles. Now the numbers represent the equivalences. So all of these conversion factors are really just equal to 1. So like this one says, in 1 meter there's 3.28 feet. Now these dominoes can be played this way, but they could also be played this way. So if we needed to, we could have feet on the top and meters on the bottom. Now notice in all of my dominoes, there's always a 1 unit, and it's like how many of the one does it take to make the other. Okay, and so that's the way those work. Oh, I see it got. Okay, so however I want to play these, I can always get 2 plays, and it really depends upon how we start and what we want to end up with. So let's go through and do some sample domino setups here. So let's say I'm going to start with a domino here, and I'm going to end with a domino here, and I'm going to do this so that I want to start with 6.5 inches, and I want to end with the unit of centimeters. So now I have to go through and look at my conversion factors. So just like I did before, I got to look for ones that are going to have inches on them. So I've got this one here that's got an inch on it. I've got this one here that has an inch on it. And I want to go to centimeters. Okay, so I've got inches to centimeters directly on this domino. So this is going to be the one I want to play. Now remember, I can play them either way. So I can either put the centimeters on the bottom, inches on the top, or inches on the bottom, centimeters on the top. Right now I'm starting with the inches on the top, so I have to play it so that the inches will go on the bottom, and then I'll end up with my centimeters. So now we're into the point where what we want to do is grab a calculator, and we're going to do the math now for this. So let me just get my calculator out here. Okay. Now the way we've got this thing set up is, you can see that we've got our 6.5, so I'm going to do 6.5, and because the 2.54 is on the top, I'm going to do times 2.54, and I hit enter. Now what I do is I'm going to look at my starting domino, okay, my starting domino. I'm going to count the number of digits I had. So 6.5, so it's 1 digit, 2 digits. So I'm going to round my answer to 1 digit, 2 digits. So I'm going to round this up. So it's going to be 17 centimeters for my answer. Okay? And so that's the way that we kind of work through our dominoes. Now let's do a few more examples here. So that was a good one to start with. Let's start with one now. Maybe we'll begin with 25 meters, and we want to end with feet. Okay, so we're going to start 25 meters, end with feet. So now I'm looking at my dominoes that I can play. Okay, I see feet here, that's good. I've got, here's a feet. I'm looking for a meters. Okay, I've got this one, meters and feet. Oh, meters and feet are both in this one, so I can go ahead and just grab this domino. Now again, they can be played either way, but the reason why I'm playing it the way I am is because I want my units to cancel. So my meters will cancel my meters, and I'll be left with feet. Now it's back to, how do I do the math for this? So I grab my calculator. Okay, I'm going to start with my number here, 25. I'm going to times it, because it's on the top, 3.28, hit hit my equals, and I come up with 82. Now I'm going to count my digits here, so that's 1, 2, okay, and that's good because I have 2 there, so my answer now is just 82 feet, okay? So we're set up, and that's how we kind of go through and do our problem. So this is the work that gets us to this answer. We'll set up, and let's do another example, okay? So we've got, let's do this one. We're going to go 775 feet, okay? And this time we're going to go to kilometers, okay? So I'm looking to get from feet to kilometers. Now, I'm going to look at my dominoes here, and again, I've got to kind of bridge between them. So I've got my feet to meters, so this one could get me feet to meters. This one could get me feet to inches. This one's got kilometers to miles, okay, and this one's got kilometers to meters. So it looks like I could go with this route, okay, I'm going to set those aside. And this one has feet to miles, and I could go this route. So I have like 2 different routes that I could choose. So let's just look at how this would set up. So I've got my feet here. I need to have feet on the bottom. So I'm going to do my feet to cancel. That gets me to meters. And then I'm going to go from meters, okay, into kilometers. So this is one route that kind of works. So I would do this, feet to meters, meters to kilometers. Kilometers then gets me my answer. So that's one possible route. Now there's another set of dominoes that does the same thing. And this is the nice thing about doing dimensional analysis, is that you usually have multiple ways to do that. So I got my one with feet to miles. I'm going to go ahead and switch it this way. So I get my feet on the bottom, my miles on the top, and then I need to get my miles on the bottom and kilometers on the top. So both routes should get me to the same answer. Now let's just double check that. Okay, we'll go ahead and get our calculator here. So if I look at the first route that I did, I'm going to start with my number 775. Okay, I'm going to divide it by 5,280. Now, the reason why we're dividing is because the number that we're using is on the bottom. We never worry about the one part. Okay, now the next domino, though, has the number on the top. So now we're going to times this by 1.609, and that'll give us our answer of how many kilometers we have. Okay, so I count my digits again, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's 0.236. Now let's check, because the other set of dominoes should give us the same answer. So we'll go this route again. So this is setting it up so that we got our feet canceling, our meters canceling, and then we get to kilometers. So I'm going to go clear. I'm going to go 775. I'm going to divide that again by my 3.28. Now this time I'm going to divide by my 1,000. Okay, and I still get that same answer to the number of digits that I had. So in other words, either route would have worked. We just needed to make sure that we set it up properly. Okay, so there you go. That's setting up ones that are all conversions with length. Let's look at ones that are different units. So this time we're going to work with units of time. Okay, so we're going to start with, let's do this. We're going to go 3.5 hours. So 3.5 hours, and we're going to change this into minutes. Okay, so I look at my dominoes the way I want to start, and I can see that I've got 2 dominoes here, one with hours and minutes, and I've got another one with minutes and seconds. So it looks like I'm going to use this one. Now remember, my hours are on the top right now, so I need to make sure that when I play a domino, the hours are going to be on the bottom. So in this sense, all I have to do is take my 3.5 hours and times it by 60. So let's go ahead and do 3.5 and times it by 60. And I get 210 minutes. Now again, my digits that I'm counting here are 1, 2. This is going to be my 1, 2. That 0 is just acting as a placeholder, so it's just going to hold the place. So I'm going to write my answer as 210 minutes. Okay, that makes sense. We'll try another example. This time, let's grab another one. Okay, so this time let's go with 75,000 seconds. Okay, so we've got 75,000 seconds. We're going to see how many hours that is. All right. So in this one, we're going to have to set up both dominoes because we've got our seconds. So we're going to have our seconds, and we want to go to minutes. So there's our seconds to minutes. And then we're going to go minutes to hours. But remember now, we got to make sure our minutes are on the bottom. Okay. So now minutes to hours. And in this case, we're going to take and divide by that 60. And we're also going to divide by that 60, and that'll give us our hours. So let's go ahead and set this up. There we go. So we're going to go 75, 1, 2, 3. So there's our 75,000. We're going to divide that by 60. Okay. We're going to divide that answer by 60. And that tells us that that's going to give us now 20.83. So I have to look at this. I got 1, 2 digits. These are just placeholding zeros, so really I'm only going to go to 2 digits. So it's going to be 20, rounded up 21 hours. There we go. So 21 hours is equal to that in a measurement sense. Okay. Let's switch over to some mass examples. Okay, so this works for all different types of units. We're going to go mass now. So let's start with 125 pounds. So we'll go 125 pounds. Okay, and we want to go into, let's go into kilograms. Okay, so 125 pounds into kilograms. So I've got these as my dominoes to play. So these are my ones that are going to be my mass relationships. And I've got pounds to ounces. Okay, here's a pounds to kilograms. So there's my one domino that I want to play. Okay, and I need to have the pounds on the bottom so that the pounds cancel, and that'll get me into my kilograms. So all I have to do for this one is just take my 125 and now divide that by 2.2. That gives me my answer of 56.8. Let's double check to see. I've got 1, 2, 3 digits, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 digits, so I'm going to keep 56.8 kilograms. So there's my answer for that one. So pretty easy, one domino shift. Let's try one more. In the mass range. So here's a couple of blank ones to start. Let's see what we're going to work with here. Let's go with, this time we're going to start with grams. So let's do 27.5 grams. That's going to be our starting value. And we're going to end with pounds this time. So let's go to pounds. So again, I have, these are my dominoes to play. Okay, I'm looking for something that has grams. Here's one that has grams, and here's one that has grams. So I've got two of them that have grams. Okay, and I need to find something that ends with pounds. So I'm looking for pounds. This is the one that has, they both have pounds. So I have routes here that I could choose. So if I wanted to, I could go pounds to kilograms, and then, excuse me, I could go grams to kilograms, kilograms to pounds. Okay, that's one route. Or I could do grams to ounces, ounces to pounds. So I've got two different routes, and remember, both routes should give us the same answer. So I'm going to just choose, this one. Okay, we're going to set this one up. So we got to have our grams on the bottom. Okay, so now our grams will cancel, get us into ounces, and we need to have our ounces on the bottom. Okay, So ounces will cancel, and we're left with pounds. So now we should be able to just bring our calculator in and set it up. So here we go. We got our 27.5 grams. We're going to divide that by 28.3, and then we're going to divide that by 16, and that'll give us our answer. But remember, we need to have this to 3 digits. So 1, 2, 3 digits. Now, that first 0 isn't really a digit that counts, so we don't count that one. We don't count that one because those are placeholders. But I'm going to go 607. So that's my 3 digits. So 607. So obviously a pound is really big when we compare it to a gram. Okay, and so there's our answer for that one. Well, now I've got one more unit or quantity type. We're going to set up and do volume ones. So here we go. Let's get our volume dominoes out. All right, and we're going to start with, let's go with 2.5 gallons. So we're going to start with 2.5 gallons. And we want to change our gallons into liters. All right. So again, now it's a new set of dominoes, which means we need to kind of know what our dominoes look like. Now, I've got a whole lot of these for volume because we have a lot of different ones that kind of work. And if we look at it, this one is just a gallons to quarts. So in other words, this is like our unit type. And I've got one like this, which is liters to milliliters. And so that's just a metric meter or metric unit type. And then we should have some that are bridge type ones. And when we call them bridges, it means that it gets us between the metric system, liters, and our system, which is ounces. So that's a bridge conversion factor. And I think this is another one. This is liters to quarts. So that's another bridge. So these are my bridges. I'm going to set my bridges up there. And I've got my English ones there. Oh, there's my metric ones. So I want to go from gallons. Okay, so I'm looking for something that has gallons. This is gallons to quarts. So let's lay this one out right here. Now I got to get from quarts to liters. I think I saw that one. So this is a quarts to liters. And we'll put that one there. And now we can go ahead and set these up, okay, to do our math. Okay, so we're going to do our math here. So we're going to start with our 2.5 gallons. We're going to divide that, we're going to times that by 4 in this sense, because the 4 is on the top, and then we'll divide that by 1.057, and that gives us how many liters we have. So we're at 1.2, so 9.5 liters. Okay, and here we'll go one more here to show how this works, and let's do this one with 950 milliliters. So we'll do 950 milliliters, and let's convert that milliliters into ounces. Okay, and in this case, we're looking at a domino. We got to get milliliters first. So let's go ahead and get rid of our milliliters and see, do we have a milliliters to ounces? No, I've got an ounces to liters, but I do have a liters and milliliters. So it looks like these are going to be the two dominoes that I want to play. So I'm going to start with my milliliters. Again, milliliters have to go on the bottom. Liters are going to go on the top. I need to get my liters back on the bottom, back to my ounces. So 2 dominoes played, milliliters, liters, ounces. Okay, grab our calculator again. Okay, set this up. So we're going to start with our 950 milliliters. We're going to divide that by 1,000 to get us into liters. Now we're going to times that by 33.8, and that comes up with 32.11. We'll count our digits. So we've got 9, the 5, the 0 is just acting as a placeholder. So really we just need 2. So we're going to go with 32 ounces. There we go. And that's our answer for that one. Now, I've got one more special type of unit conversion that we see. And this is like a dual type one. Okay, Okay, this is we'll do this when we get into velocities, which will be coming up. But I've got, for example, we're going to go 35 miles per hour. So 35, now this is going to be miles per hour. Okay, usually what we do is we write miles per hour as mph. So it's usually written as miles per hour, like that. Okay, but what it really says is that the miles is the top unit, the per is the line, and the hour says it's on the bottom. So in other words, it's like 35 miles in 1 hour. That's kind of the way that that is being read. But we're going to do this as a domino change that's going to get us into, let's go, in this time we're going to go into meters per second. So we want to do 2 unit changes. So we have a length change and a time change. So here we go. Let's set this one up. This is going to be a little bit of a bigger one because we're going to have to change both length and time. So we're going to go with our length ones here. All right. I can see that I can get miles into kilometers. So that's a good play. That gets me miles to kilometers. Now, do I have a kilometers? Yep. I've got a kilometers to meters. So I'm going to play that again so that the kilometers cancel. So it has to be on the bottom. So our miles cancel, our kilometers cancel. So really, if we stop right here, we're in meters per hour. So now comes the time change. So we need to change it from, let's look at our time ones. Here we go. And so I need to get rid of my hours. Now, because the hours are on the bottom, we're going to play the game to put the hours on the top. So I'm going to go hours to minutes, and then minutes to seconds. So the way this is now set up, again, my miles cancel my miles, my kilometers cancel my kilometers, my meters are left, my hours cancel my hours, my minutes cancel my minutes, and I'm left with seconds. So meters over seconds. So that's the way we've got it set up. Now we just need to grab a calculator to do the math. Okay, so we're going to start here with our 35. We're going to times that by 1.609. We're going to times that by 1,000. We're going to divide this by 60. And then we're going to divide this by 60. And that should give us how fast we're moving. Again, I'm going to count my digits. So I've got 2. So I'm going to go with 15. We're going to make it 16 meters per second. Okay? So 35 miles per hour is the same as 16 meters per second. Okay? Now, we're going to have to do these on paper. So I want to show you exactly how we're going to set these up on paper, because each problem that you do, that you submit, is going to be valued at 3 points. So first we got to get our notebook out. Okay? And I'm going to set this up. Here's my first problem. So this is my problem number 1. Okay, if I was doing this in the book, and I'm going to do my 3.75 feet. Okay, so that's my starting domino. Now, to keep us in kind of order with dominoes, we're going to put a line, and we're going to put a line out here. So this is the bottom half of your domino, and this is the top half of your domino. So now we want to go from feet, and say we want to end in meters. So we're going to try to get from feet to meters. So I'm going to make sure that I put feet down here, and I'm going to go feet into, let's see, I think I have a domino that is directly into meters. So we're going to go feet to meters. And we know that a meter is bigger than a foot, and it takes 3.28 feet to make 1 foot. Now, the feet are going to cancel the feet, and so we're now left with just meters. Now we have it all set up. So this is worth 1 point in setting this up. Now we're going to go through and we're going to take our calculator, okay, and do our math. So it's 3.75. We're going to divide that by 3.28, okay, and I get my answer, but I want to go 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So 1.14, And then I need to make sure that I put this down here. It's got to be in meters. And so that's my other 2 points, is getting to the answer with the correct units. So that's how you're going to set this up. We're going to do 5 problems, and then when you're done, you're going to be able to take your picture of your problems. I should go through, though, and I wanted to just show one more thing, because maybe you're questioning, where do you get all of these conversion factors? Well, the conversion factors are on your reference folder. So again, here's a reference folder. It shows you a bunch of these. And if you can see, here's that one that we've been playing with, our feet to miles. So in other words, this is a domino that can be played 1.609 kilometers over 1 mile. But remember, that domino can always be played the other way too. So it's 1 mile over 1.609 kilometers. So those are the 2 dominoes that I had. So conversion factors come from this sheet. So any of these can be turned into a conversion factor. Now the metric ones down here, this is your metric one. We like to talk about this because really this is our base unit. So this is a base, can be something like the meter. Okay, the base could be a liter. Base could be a gram. It's any type of a unit that, or quantity that we want to deal with. And then we just add prefixes to it. So like if we go up here, this is a kilometer. Okay, where if we went down this way, this would be a millimeter. Okay, and you could just attach this part to any of these prefixes. So these are the different prefixes that we like to use. Now, going up here, these are bigger. So these are big, and these are small. So if we were going to make a domino out of this, if I wanted to go between meters to kilometers, I would make a domino that has 1 kilometer here, because bigger, 1. And how many meters is it? It's 1, 2, 3 jumps, and each jump is a 0. So 1, 2, 3 jumps. That's how I made that domino. If I wanted to go the other direction, so say I wanted to know how many millimeters are in my meter, I could set my domino up. My bigger one here is the meter, so it's 1 meter. And then I'd say, how many jumps is it from here? It's 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3 millimeters. And remember, once you understand how to make the dominoes, they can be flipped. So you could have 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, just like you had 1 kilometer in 1,000 milliliters. So both of these dominoes can be played now. Okay, hopefully this helps. You should be able to now do your 5 problems, and remember that you're going to submit your picture of your work as part of this assignment.